While Meg was at the stern expertly working the rudder, a young deputy had a strange look in his eyes as he stared at her arms, to say nothing of the waist and legs that supported her and seemed several times stronger than they'd appeared on dry land. At any rate, with a half a dozen men also aboard, the small craft was nimbly cutting across the waves, at times with the current and at others against it. If it were a person, you'd say it had a nice steady gait. Stunned by the girl's ridiculous proposal, the sheriff had asked if she could even row, to which Meg replied she'd been putting to sea and helping her father with his fishing since the age of 7. Even now she was confident she was better than the boys her age. The sheriff had shaken his head and said no to taking a woman along.
We could just send the little lady back as soon as we reach the island.
Yeah.
All right, Meg, but you have to swear you'll head back as soon as you drop us there.
I swear.
In truth, she had no intention whatsoever of going back. Her parents and her little sister had gone off to an island where the nobility roamed after all. In addition to the men, the boat was packed with food and water enough for 2 days, and medicine. And 2 hours later, the small craft headed out into the bay with the water almost up to its gunwales. The elderly deputy who'd been left behind to carry word back to Piercenon soon faded from view when the mainland vanished an hour out. Even the sheriff thought anxiously that these currents were incredible. The boat was borne on a current reaching speeds of 20 knots, and a girl of 17 was not only challenging that current, she was mastering it.
We'll be there in another 30 minutes. Your weapons and head good to go?
More or less.
I'm Meg. And you are?
Wesley, we're within sight of the island. Don't forget to prep for our landing now.
The sheriff stood at the prow.
Yes, sir.
Wesley, you look a lot like the sheriff. Is he by any chance?
My father.
Oh, really? So you're following in your dad's footsteps? Aren't you the dutiful son?
I'm not a deputy by choice. See, he was short-handed.
Getting up, he turned his gaze forward to find a little hump of an island on the horizon.
Undead Island?
Meg tensed up. Soon they'd be dealing with the nobility, those who'd once been their victims, or their descendants. Just then, the youngest bounty hunter deftly made his way across the rocking boat to the pair, making no attempt to hide his vulgar smirk.
My, aren't the two of you chummy? Can I be your friend too?
Not a chance.
Aw, why not?
Because ever since you got to the village, you haven't taken your eyes off my boobs and butt. You're a pig.
The young man's face flushed crimson, and murderous intent filled him from head to toe. For those who lived on the field of battle, a public tongue-lashing could be considered the greatest insult. If they couldn't reassert their honor right then and there, they'd have no leg to stand on the next day. Meg was well aware of that, but had been merciless with him nonetheless, because he'd had such a lecherous look in his eyes. However, the instant Meg saw the young bounty hunter's hand go for the machete on his hip, her expression froze. It was no exaggeration to say a killing lust radiated from the young man.
Knock it off!
Wesley stood between the two of them.
You want to try stopping me, lover boy? Don't kid yourself. You act like you've never heard of Bo the Bowman before.
Meg had her suspicions since she first saw his bow, but never would have imagined he was really that young. They said he could fire an arrow that could punch through a demon bird soaring 1,000 yards off the ground, and he was so quick that in a second he'd taken down 10 bandits, putting an arrow through the right eye of each. At a range of 100 yards, he'd taken on 100 charging outlaws mad for blood, slaying the last with just 3 feet to go, and ensuring that his consummate skill was already the stuff of legend. Meg got the impression Wesley and the badge on his chest were swiftly fading away like mist.
Never heard of you.
The young deputy's right hand was going for the pistol on his hip.
Nice. Fight! Fight!
The bounty hunter nearest the three of them pounded the butt of his short spear against the bottom of the boat and got to his feet.
A bounty hunter and a lawman fighting over a gal? This won't be done till we've seen some blood.